We're going to get started here in just a few seconds. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to our live, our mastermind. What is this? I was thinking about this earlier. I had to write all this down. What is this program really all about? I'm excited to be here on this Sunday. It feels like it's been a while. Strange. So much has happened over the last several weeks. Anyways, I'm very grateful to be here. I welcome all the guests, all the thousands and thousands of guests from around the world. I thank you. I thank you, the community members, Jim, Mark, Nick, Laura, all of you that are coming on. Who was it? Mark? Did I get him? I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your dedication to your own life, to what you're doing to change you. I appreciate that. Anyhow, we've got about 45 minutes or so of Mind Up, Spirit Recap, right? I'm saying it short because I kind of messed that one up here and there. Spirit Recalibration. Advance our life. What are we here for? We're here to advance our life, right? We're here to move away from problem gambling as fast as possible. We're here to build our money reserves. We're also here to find a solution, a step forward, right? Improve upon our improvements. Train the brain so that your brain will train you. A couple of things that we're doing here. And always remember, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. The opposite of that is true also. Anyhow, welcome. I looks like I'm losing everybody. Maybe am I? I'm actually broadcasting live via Facebook, Twitter. Hello, Twitter. Welcome. If thou seest me, we do have a proverb coming up. I'm looking forward to your challenges. I'm looking forward to your questions. If something comes up, that's what we're here for. I am very enriched by coming here every Sunday. I leave here challenged. I grow as a result of coming here and just simply taking 45 minutes to an hour to dedicate to self-mastery. Screw the world for now. Screw everything else. Screw the distractions. Screw it all. Let's focus on you and I right here on this broadcast. So thank you. What's important for us today? You know, I was discussing this topic earlier, and I want to get some feedback if possible. If you guys want to join in. By the way, I do have an open camera here. Open camera. If you want to come on and you want to share something or you got a question, feel free. There it is. Copy and paste it into your browser. Listen, if we're not willing to fail, if we're not willing to ask, if we're not willing to get into the hot seat, we're not going to stop the bleed. We're going to be. In fact, I was really thinking about this. What's important for us today? What's really important for us today is having a money mindset recovery. Having a money mindset, a money recovery mindset. And we're going to be looking at this. Maybe you guys will join in, right? Talk a little bit about what is peace. You know, what is peace? And how do you acquire peace? How do you know you have peace? How do you know you have peace? So we'll look at a few of these things today here. Time's going to go by very quickly. I'm kind of having some technical challenges because I wanted to play a clip. I'm going to see if I can still do it. Maxwell Maltz. I wanted to play a little bit of Maxwell Maltz, and I also wanted to play a little bit of Jim Rohn, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that. Talking about acquiring this mindset that today, most people today, listen, it's it's not a good thing of what's happening today in the world. We can see there's a lot of troubling signs. There's a lot of troubling situations, and if we're not careful, we get caught up into that kind of stuff ourselves, and it just drags us into worse sins in our life. You know what I mean? Depression and being just feeling sorry for yourself and stuff like that. Um, Jim, I see you're working on that. If you have a question, by the way, we're live on Twitter, we're live on Facebook, and a shout out to StreamYard for helping me get these programs together and being able to broadcast live over the airwaves. You know, folks, it's really important that we really begin to focus on our self empowerment and our self education. It's so vital today to keep ourselves in a spirit of peace, a spirit of money recovery. And who knows where the US economy, only God knows. And you know what, I'm not going to promote anything. I've been really thinking about this. You know, there's so much fear mongering going on. There's war mongering, and we are at war, by the way. Those of you that aren't aware of this, we are at war. But, or, you know, again, our goal is to make sure that we are basically working on ourselves to advance, to move away from gambling, the lying, to move away from gambling, period, any kind of gambling, any kind of gambling. By the way, welcome, Jim. We're going to have Jim share a little bit. We're talking about having this, and the problem gambler really needs a mindset, a recovery money mindset. And what does it take to have that? Because I'm telling you, a lot of people don't have it. Most people are defeated today, and they're depressed, and they're staying home, and they want to sleep all day and hide and be under the covers. And you know, Santos, have you been there? Oh, of course I've been there. Jim, welcome all the way from Tucson, Arizona. You talk about dedication.
Hey there, Santos. How's it going? Good evening.
Yeah, I'm working on super fantastic, man. How do you see the situation? Do we need a money mindset recovery today, or do we need what's happening? You know, with this, with especially with peace within. One thing I want to say is, Jim, because you know, if we can get rid of the financial situation, if we can somehow put that in a jar that kind of works for us, we can work on other stuff. You know, we can work on other shit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to me?
Yeah, money touches so many aspects of our lives. I mean, I wrote out a list of like just general things that you want to go ahead and change, goals, right? And money touches so many aspects of those things, you know? I mean, where do you like traveling, right? If you want to go travel, right? What does it take to travel? It takes money, right? What if you want like to invest, right? It takes money, right? All
Mhm.
these kinds of things kind of tied to money. And, Jim Rohn, you were talking about Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, likes to use money as a way uh, to, set goals, set a goal to make $1 million or whatever, right? Because, setting these kinds of goals, changes, your character for the better, right? It changes your
Mhm.
habits to good habits if you have that mindset of wanting to improve. And he says, money is a good way to keep score of things, right? You can count it, right? So,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, money
Exactly.
is important to manage. And if you're sloppy, if you're undisciplined, what is it? A fool and his money are what? Parted, right? Soon parted. Fool and his money are soon parted. So we can't be the fool. Can't be the fool anymore. We got to get smart with the way we deal with money. But I think money is like really emotional, don't you think? Money can get
Oh,
emotional.
oh
Um,
yeah.
I mean, for the gamblers, right? I mean, to get
Yeah.
that big win, right? That's emotional, right?
Yeah.
Greed is emotion. Not having enough, the fear of not having enough, to take all you can or take big risks to get that money quick, right? That's
Yeah. It's
emotional. So, it's like you gotta really work on disciplining your mind and your emotion if you're gonna talk about money. Um,
just experimenting there. Yeah. It's, in fact, while you were speaking, the gambler actually has a money recovery mindset. He actually does, because the gambler is very creative when he doesn't have money. The mind works overtime for the gambler. The problem is that the gambler is so disillusioned, he's not aware of what's really going on. So all that energy and all that power that's being um, placed and used for the wrong thing can easily be turned around and used for the right thing.
mhm.
See what I'm saying? And maybe in a sense, we all have that money mindset recovery. The reason I wanted just to share, in fact, I got a proverb that I want to read, but I wanted to share this piece, and I want to let you share a little bit more. But the word peace, freedom from disturbance, tranquility, um, calm, calmness, law and order. It's interesting. If we look at the world today, is there law and order all across the world? It's really strange. And, again, law and order can only come from a peaceful mindset, can only come from a true mindset money recovery, right? If you're all confused and you're depressed and you're just, you're kicking the bricks with your feet, all you're doing is hurting yourself, and you're going to find yourself gambling even more. What do you say? I was just wanted to bring this in because it's interesting, the word peace, which is something, and how do we know? Actually, maybe we get into two subjects here, but can you have peace in your heart? Can you have peace in your heart when you have your money mindset, your financials taken care of? If that's at least covered.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey talks about the financial guy. Dave Ramsey talks about financial peace. He wrote a book on that, and it's like talks about getting out of debt. Having your money in order. It's like your house feels a lot different. He says when you own it and not having like payments on the stuff. It's like
Hmm.
getting to a point where no one has a claim on you. Right. That's peace right there. Right. It's also
Yeah.
having. I guess you can say it's peaceful when you don't have any addictions, right? Having a hold or a grasp on you. I mean, it's like, can we imagine being at peace? Imagining not being addicted to anything, not having any kind of, you know, I don't know, organization or ideas, have an ability to press our buttons and pull our strings and make us feel and act and do, you know, things that are bad for us. That seems like a wonderful place to be. If we can imagine that place, taking a deep breath, on top of a mountain, having
Yeah.
that peace of mind,
Yeah.
knowing that nothing has a claim on us, right?
Yeah. And we can produce those moments. We can't. It's not permanent. There is a utopia. I do believe there is a utopia, but that's that's very spiritual. But we can create, right, what you're sharing. We can create those moments.
Mhm.
We can
Yeah.
actually create those moments. We can do that throughout the day. We can take times throughout the day to generate peace. Uh, Ultimately, I believe that the ultimate peace within man has to do with a relationship with the Maker somehow, some way. You have to have some kind of a relationship between the Maker, whatever it is between you and your Maker. That to me is the ultimate peace. That's my observation. Uh, everybody's different, but ultimately, I believe that there's a relationship between every human being and the maker. Make sense?
Also, I think it's very important to have a good relationship with yourself too. I mean, when you talk about peace, you know, uh, accepting yourself for all the good things and the bad things, the challenges that you got. I think that's a state of peace that we want to be in. Being at peace with ourselves, because it's a
Yeah,
horrible situation, putting yourself down. Insulting yourself. Saying bad things about yourself, feeling bad things about yourself. It's a
yeah,
horrible place to be. You know, why do we want to go ahead and put ourselves in that situation? And I think we have a choice. Say, you know what, that we can do better, and we can treat ourselves better. We can look upon ourselves a lot better, and it's kind of like reframing, right? Reframing how we see ourselves. And I think it's really important for us to get a good understanding of ourselves in a positive way. I think believing that we can change for the better, um, knowing
yeah,
that we can, looking at, you talked about Maxwell Maltz, focus
yeah,
on a lot of the successes that we've had. A lot of times we just focus on the negative stuff, a lot of the negative stuff. We've done a lot of positive things, a lot of positive things. We were able to overcome, we were able to reach goals, right? We look at that, yeah, I can do
exactly.
it. I can do it. So looking at ourselves in a different way, I think, is very important to finding that peace. You know, trusting in ourselves. We got to be able to trust ourselves. That's another way to get peace.
Yeah, learning to develop a couple of things. Of course, out of sight is out of mind. They say that bliss is, what is it? Ignorance is bliss. I don't believe it is.
I think
Focus
that's,
and
yeah, sorry.
yeah, focus and stay focused. And it is about the attitude. How do we see ourselves? How do we see ourselves? When you look in the mirror, how do you see yourself? Most people won't even challenge that question. It's we have to, if we're going to grow, if we're going to become better, if we're going to move away from problem gambling, if we're going to move away from the petty things of life that hold us down like little anchors, you hit the nail right on the head. We have to have a relationship. You have to know who you are. You have to know how you think. What moves you. Why am I feeling down? Why am I depressed? Why did I let so and so talk down to me? Or, why did I say what I said to that person? I shouldn't have said it.
Hmm.
We have to get to that place where we are, where that's peace, Jim. There's a peace. There's a very strong, I feel very, very at peace about myself. Number one, because I've overcome problem gambling in my life. Number one, that was huge in my life. But you feel at peace with yourself. It's not 100%. But when you feel yourself like losing a little bit, like your energy, or maybe running low on fuel, because you know who you are, because you've tested it, because you've journaled or you video therapy, whatever, you've counseled, you've done something, you know exactly how to fix yourself. Um, Dr. Maxwell Maltz talks about a mindset, little potato mindset that we have. Little potato mindset. We focus on our failures. In fact, I'm going to challenge, I know time is going by very quickly. I'm going to challenge all of us here on this live broadcast, Twitter, Facebook, write down at least four things that you're proud of, that you feel great about. Write four things. Just take some time today, 5-10 minutes, to write about four things that you've accomplished, that you feel great about, that's in your past. It's in your past and you may be forgotten about it, but write it out so you can see it and see what begins to happen to you. That's where our focus needs to be. is on our successes and our winnings, right? The wall of fame, not the wall of shame.
Uh, you know, a lot of times we can when we're trying to change, it's either because we have a crisis going on, okay, or we have some type of desire to something good to reach for, right? One of those things. And it's disruptive. When we want to change, we start doing things differently. Sometimes we disrupt other people, who are used to the ways we were before. you know
Yeah.
um, they don't like it. you know uh, it disrupts ourselves and our schedules and how we feel. And there's benefits of change. I think we have to study, as Jim Rohn talked about. Life is a study, right? And the way we change, and our motivation, the study of our motivation, should be a study. It's like there are benefits to changing, right? And there are drawbacks to changing. And we have to figure out, okay, so why do I not want to change? Why do I like relapse into my bad habits? Why is that? Well, maybe it's because it feels good, you know, and then you think, okay, well, it feels good to
Familiar.
go back to the alcohol or the gambling or the bad habits, right? It feels good. Okay, well, okay, so I'm kind of breaking this down, you know well, I don't want to relapse, right? But I kind of figure out why I relapse. It's like, is there anything that I can do to substitute or find a way to prevent me from going that down that road of relapse, but feel okay? Kind of like food, right? It's like fast food, right? Oh man, I'm on this diet. I'm sick of this bird food, and it's like it's so hard. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna eat a hamburger, like a Big Mac or something. Well, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back. I'll go back to fast food, but let's go to Subway. And I can have the barbecue chips, right? It's like that's not so bad. That's not so bad. You know what I mean? So
Your self
studying,
talk. Yeah,
yeah,
your self talk. You're
yes, studying these like benefits and drawbacks of of like relapsing or changing. I think it's very important. How do we act? What do we feel? And start making some strategies to kind of support ourselves moving in the right direction. And
yeah.
try to kind of suppress the bad stuff. Or
Yeah.
mitigate, minimize, the issues of relapsing. I mean, sometimes people get crushed by relapsing, right? And they say, you know what? I give up. I'm never going to do this again. You see, I keep on failing, so what's the use?
Yeah.
So studying why
Yeah.
we relapse, I think, is important too.
Yeah. I mean, having a well balanced knowledge of many different areas of your life. And what's really cool is that when you actually study yourself, you'll never cease to be amazed as you study yourself, because you're just going to find things that you didn't know you had, or a behavior pattern, why you were thinking a certain way. There's all of these things, it's like, I'm kind of reminded of what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. He said that the body's like a sculpture, and we just sculpt away at it. We sculpt and we sculpt, and of course the bodybuilders, they do different things, like to but we're doing the same thing spiritually and mindset wise. We have to be we have to be on top of things today. It's not like there are many choices anymore. We really have to be, because if we're not, we're going to get swallowed up by things that we're just not going to see them coming. Our minds are the human mind is sophisticated, Jim. I'm realizing it more and more that, again, there's always room for improvement within room for improvement, and your good life will come out of a good series of good, constant reminders. Your good life will come out of a good series of good constant reminders. The opposite of that is also true. It's also true. By the way, I got to get into a scripture here. Got to get the proverb in. Let me get this First Peter. This is Proverb First Peter. I love this because it talks about feeding ourselves and having a knowledge, a desire. As newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word that you may grow thereby. If so be that you have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Now, this is all spiritual, but there's also physical. Jim, you were talking about this earlier, the dialogue that you have, right? Well, I'm going to eat, if I'm going to eat health, if I'm going to go back to eating fast food, let me go eat Subway. We talk ourselves into good things, we talk ourselves into bad things. We need to be talking ourselves, we need to be talking to ourselves more into the right things instead of talking ourselves out of most things that we're doing. Does that make sense? What I just said? We're doing more talking to get ourselves away from the good than we are, of course, doing so that we can do the good.
And you got to remind yourself. You got to have like systems of reminders. It's like I have Audible. I don't know if you're familiar with Audible, but man, you can download so many good books, you know, um, so many good informational stuff, and just get a Bluetooth headset while you're just doing stuff and listen to good stuff over and over and over. Or even YouTube, you can just listen to YouTube too with with
Yeah,
a Bluetooth headset. Now,
yeah,
I realize that I get caught up in all the nonsense on Facebook and YouTube as well. Lots of news, lots of media, lots of propaganda. And that influences me in a very negative way because it distracts me from myself. It's like, and I realize, shoot, from like the time of recorded history, people don't change. These leaders don't change. The rulers don't change. The world don't change. It doesn't change. Always going to be this nonsense of war. Always going to be greed, power, corruption. The brainwashing, the manipulation. I, it's always the same stuff. So I have to kind of say, you know what? I got to focus on myself. That's the only person, if I want a better life, everything out there is going to be the same. Same
yeah,
stuff, same nonsense, you know.
yeah,
But,
yeah,
how does that stuff help me? That stuff out there doesn't help me one bit. You know, um, it's like, how can I become better? Look, really, if you want to, do something good, take care of yourself so that you can be stronger for everyone around you. Really. I mean,
yeah, yeah. The strength of a man or a woman is not known during good times.
mhm, yeah. Actually, we can kind of become weak, right? What is that? Good times make weak men, something like that. Weak men,
We
make
lose
hard
discipline.
times, right? Hard times make strong men, strong, etc. It just goes on in a cycle.
Yeah,
Um, so it's
and the cycle's worth breaking. That's what's really cool about it.
yeah,
You know?
and it takes awareness, right? It
Yeah,
takes a lot of awareness to understand, where my position is, what's happening in the world. You know, is the world really caring about me? Not really. The world's just doing what's always been doing for, the beginning of time. You know, what do I want? What are the values? What are the desires that I have? I want to better my life. I can't the government's not going to do it for me. Media's not going to do it for Facebook's not going to do it for me. Casino's not going to do it for me. Alcohol's not going to do it for me. All that stuff not going to help me. It's like, if you want change, you got to start really, really thinking about what you want,
yeah. In
and think
fact,
about how it affects your life in a good way.
these social media can you can fall into a trap. Social media can hurt you. In fact, social media will hurt you if you're not careful.
It's pretty.
Facebook, YouTube. Not only that, the advertisements can entice you into problems.
Mhm.
Um, Getting involved with wrong people, getting involved on with more gambling if online. I know I've been meeting a lot of people that are doing it online, and they're just it's so we have to, what do we do with social media, right? That's the question. When you get up in the morning, do we talked about rituals, having certain rituals. You must have certain rituals throughout the day that you do to yourself to keep yourself focused, because if not, you are going to be swayed by the wave, by the river of confusion, by the river of self-doubt, this "I don't know" syndrome. You ask people, "I don't know." I don't know. I don't know. It's horrible, and it's that syndrome is out there. If we're not careful, we fall prey to that syndrome. And that's why I'm so grateful that we can come here on Sundays. We've been half an hour here. We can come here on Sundays. We can discuss these topics and challenge ourselves. Let's not just come here and this isn't. I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the most perfect speaker. Sometimes I can be funny. Sometimes people may laugh at me, right? Or maybe they'll laugh with me. But I come here as a support, as a community, because I get stuff out of this program. Every time that I come here and I walk away, I'm challenged. It gets me thinking about my life. It gets me thinking about where I am. It gets me thinking about my bad habits, my sinful nature, all of these things. And where else do we go to face this truth, right? If we're not, this is kind of like a place where we can really learn about ourselves. You can learn a lot about yourself here on this program if you're open to it. And that's what we want. We want growth. We want to expand. As I said earlier, we want to advance our life. We want to move away from problem gambling as fast as possible. I mean, I tell you, uh, I don't play around with gambling anymore. I want nothing to do with gambling because I know the damage. I know the horror of the losses. I've experienced them in many different ways. I'm still paying for it today, 5 years later, 6 years, 3 years later. I'm still paying for it. Jim, go ahead. Somebody had a
Yeah.
question. Let me see. What was it? A man or, well, there was a statement made. Let me see if I got this here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Marvin is from Alexandria, Virginia. I want to play a little clip. I don't know if I'm just going to take a few of just a minute or two. I want to play a little clip of Maxwell Maltz where he talks just a little bit. I think it would be feasible to put him in here if I can. If it echoes, will somebody let me know if this echoes? So hang with us, Jim. Stay here. Let me see. A man is defined by how he conducts himself during hardship, not during good times. Exactly. That's how we know how strong we are, is during um, those difficult times. That's why we have to go through difficult times, but we don't
hold
stay
on to
there.
negative feelings constantly and that you're no more.
Oh, I don't. Let me see if I got any sound here. Um, no, I guess. Oh,
See, we just both
what
responded to the
happened here?
telephone. We're
I'll
so
go back because
conditioned
it doesn't look
that we'll
like
stop
it's.
doing about anything. I mean, we'll actually even get out of the bathtub soaking wet to answer the phone.
So you're saying that we have commands that are embedded in our subconscious that are that strong, that powerful.
Right.
We live inside two boxes. One, the big box, the solid line represents real limits.
Let me see.
And we all have some real limits. But inside that box, the much smaller box shown with the dotted line.
Actually, here's
The exercises,
here's what I wanted to
So
share.
analysis delves into the past, which is perfectly all right. But what is vital?
Is it echoing?
Suppose you know about the past. What are you going to do about your life now? NOW. And creative psycho-cybernetics means living creatively now, regardless of what the past is.
Dr. Malt's remarkable
All
insight
right.
into human behavior and performance improvement spread through all sports, corporate
Yeah,
America, and the
I'm so sorry. I got to figure that one out.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
yeah.
um,
Santos. He just talked about um now, and I was
oh,
conscious, the last couple days of just telling myself it's like right now is the most important time in my life right now, and I back it up because what I'm
yeah,
doing right now is important. What I'm thinking right now is important. Because it adds to where I want to go. So I'm going to be kind of conscious of my behavior and my thoughts. Right now. Forget about the past. You know, that's, I mean, like they talk about like the vehicle, right? You got the windshield and you got the rear view mirror, right? I don't know if we talked about that before. You talked about that. Rear view mirror is smaller, right? You can look at
yeah,
that a few times, but you got to look forward, right? And right now is important. The present right now, and you're doing stuff right now. You're thinking stuff right now, so you can constantly consciously choose, you know, to think intentionally, be positive, be kind to yourself, right? And think about where you want to go and why right now what you're doing is important.
exactly. Right now, what's important? Hey, Nick, welcome from the big
Hey,
city
Nick,
there,
How you guys doing?
Chicago.
How are you guys this evening? How's the chat?
doing well.
Yeah, we're working on advancing life. We're working on, let me see, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It's all about advancing, and helping ourselves, being in the present. We have to be in the present
I know
in
you
order.
mentioned money, Santos. I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about
Money recovery mindset.
how can we move forward with the money and aspect and credit. I'd like to add a little bit about credit and how it's helped me, and maybe it can help some of your viewers and other people. Uh, I became homeless in 2015 because of gambling. I lived out of my car for a year and a half in hotels, various places, as a result of gambling. And then I found a video on YouTube about credit. That video I watched was 3 minutes long, and it changed my life. Today, I own three businesses. Uh, I was able to leverage that credit and turned that money from the credit that I was able to get into three businesses that are cash flowing monthly, providing for my family. It's a very good point you make about the money aspect, because sometimes we can live in the past, and the money has a lot to do with it, because we can't move forward without money. We can't progress in life without money. We can't do what we want without money, and we can't take care of our family, especially. So I'm coming out with a book next month. I know I mentioned it to you. It's a book on credit, and I'd like to give the first copy to all your listeners if they're interested, as well as you and anybody else who wants it. It's everything I've learned over the past actually 7 years, 2015, about credit, ins and outs, about the credit bureau, and which credit cards to get, and how you can improve your life basically through credit. So
Well, that's good. That's good, Nick, that you're sharing that. For the problem gambler that's recovering, that's in recovery. Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
you're in Mick. When you get a chance, well, if anybody's interested, which in fact I was looking into that too to build my credit a while back because I was working on that. We damage it. You can send the information to me. We can connect with Nicola there. You can send me an email if you're interested in something like that. Or again, we're here to support you. I'm here to support you on the other side. This is a community, faith building community. I know Jim wanted to share something, and we're here for you. If you don't take advantage of what's available, it's not going to be free. You know what I'm saying? If there's many things that we share that are free that can help you, unfortunately, free stuff doesn't work very well. It does work if you're committed, but when you have to put like $100 or $500 or $2,500 into something, now you're going to look at that situation a lot differently. Money seems to motivate people. It just has a way of, motivating people.
Definitely. I agree, Santos. It definitely does. You're committing yourself when you put some money up, whatever it is, a conference or a self-help book. You're investing in yourself. And what's better? What's a better investment than investing into yourself?
Yeah, buy a book, get purchase a coaching session or force coaching, because if think about it, if you're taking your money and you're wasting it, if you're using it for gambling or you're just wasting your money, and you happen to find me on a video and you know that I can help you. I've talked to numerous people, and it's really sad that I've seen people losing $5,000, $6,000 a month. I've not seen them literally, but I've spoken to them. And dude, you can't commit to $200, you can't commit to $300, but yet you're willing to lose, and I know that I can help you turn it around. Then you're not serious. I mean, I'd love to do things free for everybody. I wish I had all the money in the world coming in, and I would do all kinds of stuff completely free, no charge at all. I would. But I also know that that's a handicap. You see, we have to be real, we have to be honest with each other. I've invested a lot of money into myself. I've been ripped off by some coaches. That's okay. I've learned. But I've invested a lot of money. I've paid coaches up to $6,000 to help me to get a mindset faster and to learn a few things. So of course, when I had the money available for that kind of stuff, and that's just the way it is. You pay people. The president needs a coach. Business people need coaches. Coaches need coaches. And I'm not trying to sell coaching here. I'm trying to sell you on yourself to get what you need, whether it's a book, whether it's a tool, whether it's a GABA, $449 or whatever when it comes out, whatever it might be. Invest. Jim said it earlier. Nick, you're saying it. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. That's Jim Rohn says it. Jim Rohn says it very well. Work on yourself more than you do on your job. Work on yourself, because the more that you work on yourself, your job is going to come about more easier.
Yes.
Anyhow, we're almost at that hour. And once again, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I thank you guys for hanging out. Um, I thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your support. You being here on Sunday is a blessing to me. It's a support. It encourages me. It motivates me to dig deeper and find deeper in myself, because I want to be able to help those of you on the other side, right? Especially the gamblers, the young folks, anybody that's doing it. So, Jim and Nick, I'm going to give you guys here open mic. You want to share? We're going to be wrapping things up, and I will issue another challenge here at the end of the broadcast, a call to action.
Yeah, just you were talking about peace. I think we need to focus on, where we want our mindset. You know, I mean, a lot of people on this chat, myself, you, Nick, have gone through a lot of crazy shit. You know,
Oh yeah.
crazy shit. I mean, and you can just remember that kind of stuff. Could have been last week, could have been last year. It's like, oh, I can't believe that. That was just freaking awful, just horrible. I never want to be in that emotional state ever again. I don't want to put myself through that stuff. Just remember how horrible. It's like, no, I want to be at peace. I want to be in control of my life. I want to be in control of my money. I want to be at peace with myself. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel good about the things that I do, you know,
Exactly.
and I want to be at peace. Okay. So that's a goal. visualize it, see it, look at the contrast, the antithesis of peace where you were in that horrible state. And I said, no, never again. Make a decision, never again. And start making a plan, write stuff down, start creating strategies, start learning about yourself, why you act certain ways, what got you into that negative situation. Learn about why. Start
Yeah,
questioning, writing it down. Remember the feelings, and
exactly.
then and just start learning about yourself. Start learning about yourself so you can go and turn that ship around.
Exactly. 2 millimeter turn. What say Nick?
I'll agree with you, Jim, and I'll add to that, which is start thinking about what you want to leave when you die or when you leave this earth to your family. And where does that start? I guess that starts with coming up with a daily plan and keeping yourself busy every day, a daily task. When I wake up in the morning, I have 5 things that I write down the night before that needs to get done. These are the most important things for my day that I need to do, and that keeps me focused during the day. That prevents other thoughts from coming in, and not so good thoughts about being bored and trying to stay busy. That's all. Just try to stay busy. What do you want to leave on this earth for your kids, your family? How do you want to proceed? Do you want to be thought of as somebody all they did was gamble and be in a casino with unsavory people that you and I both know, all three of us know, you're not going to meet anybody great in a casino. It's usually, most of the time, it's other people that are, not so nice people. So do you put yourself around people that are doing great positive things, and that'll lift you up and make you want to do positive and great things.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not fun. It's gambling when you go out and you do whatever you do, and you have a drink or two, and it's all fun and games. It's just people are laughing and you're eating good and all that stuff, and the casino, and maybe you won some money or whatever. But then later on down the road, when you begin losing, going downhill, it's not it's not fun and games anymore. It's not. It becomes a very horrible, dark, uh, self-destructive nightmare. And I had somebody say earlier to me that she had an experience that was enough, never going back there. I'm not talking about gambling; it was another something else. But from in my life, I know for a fact. You see, that's why I know for a fact, man, that for me it's done and over with, and I know that I can help people because it is a matter of believing. It's a matter of transferring belief into other people. Most people don't believe. Problem gamblers do not believe that they can get free from the gambling habit. That's their major problem. One of them, major. So it takes somebody with belief to inject them so that they can begin believing. There's a price there somewhere. So whether it's credit that needs to be fixed, whether it's the law that needs to be repaired, there's all kinds of services. These are not expensive services. They're very, very cost effective. If you need help with your life, if you're confused, if you don't know where you're supposed to be going, and maybe you just need a session with me. Maybe I can help you kind of turn your mindset around very quickly in 1 hour. If you're committed to your goal and you're serious, I'm willing to give you some of my time, a free session, if that's what need. Other than that, we've got videos, we've got books, we've got emails coming out. Um, GABA, I'm looking forward to GABA. That's going to be coming out pretty soon. We've got a credit book here. Jim, on the other side, Jim, your background is in education. You used to be a teacher.
Yes, taught high school science.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
And,
So
and
I did
he's
that.
and,
Yeah.
and he's also a business owner, so he understands law. Hey, you guys can reach out to us, and you know we'll keep the rates down. I'm just joking. You can always reach out to us and we'll answer your questions for free. But if there's any more that needs to be involved, of course, we have to be committed. We have to be willing to invest. You have to be willing to create your rituals. You have to be willing, and I'm gonna challenge you to write down. I'm gonna challenge you to focus on three successes that you've had tonight after this broadcast. Before you go to bed, I want you to focus on and think about three successes, three victories, three somethings that you feel great and real good about that you've accomplished, and just let that sink deep into your spirit. I challenge you to do that tonight before you go to bed. That's my call to action. All right, my friends, I'm going to play my beautiful tune here that I haven't played in a while. And Jim, Nick, if you guys want to share something, a few words there, we're going to be ending the broadcast here. Before I do, I want to thank Laura, Mark, Sumaya. Thank you for hanging out with us. Marvin Martinez, Laura, and those of you that did not come on the screen. Let me see who else. Mark Camaron, DE. Get rid of the casino. Hey, there's Jim. Oh, can't forget Nick. There we go. Get him in there.
I like this interactive
All right.
thing with the way you have it, Santos. The interaction. I wish more people can come online and come and join us so we can brainstorm and share our experiences. And I love how Jim so eloquently puts his experiences and it can I think it's so nice how you can explain yourself and make it just make people think more about the deeper aspects of gambling and introspect views. I really appreciate a lot of your comments, and of course, Santos, you are the guru of problem gambling, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I remember watching the first video of yours, and ever since then I was hooked. And you guys just stick with it. Just stay with it. Whatever you do, just stick with Santos. He'll get you to the finish line.
Stay in the community. Stay in the community. We're going to get you through. All right, my friends. One by one, we'll be coming off the airwaves here. We've been here almost an hour. I'm in Stockton, California. I am Santos, the world's #1 problem gambling interventionist, founder of the Soldiers of Self Mastery movement, an example, but I'm also a human being with mistakes and addictions and problems and all kinds of crap. And I will declare that, but that is not going to hold me back. It won't hold me back, and neither should you hold you back. All right, with that said, I will see you guys on the next broadcast at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Thanks,
Adios.
Santos.
Strength.
Thanks, Nick.
Take care, Jim. Take care,
Take care. Have a
Santos.
great week. Have a great
You too,
week,
guys.
everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, we're off the